All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome, really, this time, to a game between Starbuck and Grubby taking place here on Autumn Leaves. Had some issues with XSplit, leading to videos not being recorded properly, stored in the right place, leading to a double upload of the same video. Well, a lot of wasted time. Couldn't find the replay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cast this game between Grubby and Starbuck. Starbuck spawning as the blue human on the bottom left-hand side of the map, going for Farseer first. Meanwhile, Grubby opening things up. No, sorry, Grubby opening up with Farseer first. Starbuck opening up with Archmage first, and now finally getting up that barracks. He will be going pretty much exclusively Headhunters as this game gets underway. Footman doing that Footman thing, gonna go ahead and purposely aggro the Kobold Geomancers and the Taskmasters away. And once that Footman no longer is being chased, the Archmage and the Water Elementals can go ahead and engage here and try and take down these Kobold Geomancers first. As I've said in the past, if you're wondering how some of these professional players are able to clear out those creep camps quickly, always make sure you understand unit armor. Medium armor takes extra damage from militia and also footmen. Meanwhile, Farseer can go ahead and go straight after that Forest Troll Berserker that also has the medium armor, using those walls pretty much exclusively. A lot of damage here. Farseer going to be able to finish off that trapper there, and now the footman of Starbuck is actually going to scout this out. So nicely done here to purposely steal some of your opponent's creeps away. Remember, creeps are a resource on your side of the map, and depending on when you try to harvest and collect them. Meanwhile, Water Elemental pushing back here once more. Camera, please. All right, let me do this. Why? Did people really want to see me that much? Really? All right. Coming back around. Archmage getting ready to engage. We can see that this scout tower here is upgrading, and I will say this once more. The scout tower, if you were actually watching with WarCraft 3 Reforged graphics, you could see the scout tower upgrading to an arcane tower, and then Grubby perhaps could get some additional information on when that tower would be done. All right, coming back across. No, only people who are allowed to say I'm handsome are my mother and my wife. Don't need the internet to let me know. All right, Archmage gonna make its way back down here. Footmen here. We are looking at the Farseer and Headhunters, and it's gonna be up to PJ. Not up to PJ. I am so. My head's so all over the place. Up to Starbuck to try and defend properly. Defend properly. We can see that these Headhunters are also trying to split around every which way, and this Headhunter is going to be double backing around, coming across a couple more of these footmen. So this could be a little bit of a mistake here. Starbuck, can they try and get in front of this Headhunter, get some damage, and is it going to get denied? That is the question there, and a beautiful deny by Grubby. Grubby able to deny his own Headhunter, to get that little bit of, to translate to less experience on that Archmage. Always important when small things add up to big moments here, as the Farseer does get up to level 2. Coming back around, Farseer looking to engage, put pressure down on that Archmage. Archmage doesn't like taking damage, as the Headhunters, well, they're doing a little bit of a weird poke as well. They're purposely splitting apart, trying to absorb damage. The one lowest hit point Headhunter is still retreating back here. The other Headhunters are poking back the other way and trying to apply a little bit of damage too. Farseer trying to get past that Footman will be able to do exactly that. Meanwhile, it looks as though this Headhunter, down to 46 hit points, going to try and jump up behind these Orc burrows as a Tauren Chieftain about to make his presence known. All right. Tauren Chieftain making its presence known here. Footman looking to engage Farseer with the Chain Lightning. There goes a quick kill, and now the Farseer down to 60 hit points as the Tauren Chieftain is out on the battlefield. Grabbed Endurance Aura, perhaps for faster movement speed on that Farseer as it tries to retreat away. Stomp could also have been useful to try and clear out some of this experience. Is that Water Elemental going to get taken down? Yes, it will, giving that Tauren Chieftain 42 experience. Farseer now picking up a Clarity Potion. Does need a little bit more healing salves to heal up the remainder of these Headhunters. Now, If Grubby stays at tier 2, those headhunters will be staying as headhunters and only having 375 hit points. That is important to remember, as AoE spells such as Thunderclap and Blizzard can easily take down these headhunters if there is not scrolls of healing used by both the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain. One just doesn't seem to be enough, especially if that Archmage is at least level 3 with level 2 Blizzard. Coming back around, Starbuck is running now up on 2 bases, so he's in a pretty strong position. Even though he is now teching the tier 2, not yet done, he does have this extra economy. As long as he does not lose all of these units needlessly, he's going to be setting himself to, well, have a stronger economy, build up our army, and be able to catch up in terms of those other 2 categories, army size and tech. All right, Tauren Chieftain looking to clear things out here. He did opt to go for Shockwave. Now finishing off the remainder of these trappers here. Raiders are out on the battlefield, and a Peon perhaps here to set up an Expo as well. Tauren Chieftain does pick up a Wand of Mana Stealing. That could be important to try and deny some water elementals as the Raiders now show up to the party here. All right, who's going to get the last hit on that Sasquatch? That is the question. Archmage gets the hit, but a good Shockwave rips on through. Water elementals getting taken down. Chain Lightning bouncing across. The Footmen do, in fact, have defense, so they're going to be able to reflect back some of that damage. There goes another Shockwave again. Tauren Chieftain still has mana after using that Wand of Mana Stealing. Farseer, perhaps, yes, trying to finish off that healing ward that was in the back. There's another Chain Lightning. There's another Shockwave ripping on through. It looks as though the Footmen, well, reflecting back enough of those Headhunter spears to not get taken out. All right. What was your question again, Metaphysics? I saw something about all the randoms. I do like how, well, it makes me think on my feet as well, just as well, other players, the players themselves need to think on their feet and figure out what to do. All right, Tauren Chieftain does get a little bit of damage back there. There's going to be an ensnare down. Mountain King going to make its way back out. There goes a Shockwave that taking down that Peasant. Mountain King does go for Stormbolt first, so he should be able to Stormbolt some of this. Meanwhile, back off to the north, this Peon who was trying to build up an expansion, not able to quite do it. Do all the random World Cup replays sound good? Yes, they definitely sound good. Mountain King gonna get surrounded and taken down. Arcane Tower now feedbacking damage onto that Farseer. Farseer, no more wolves, no Chain Lightning, as the Footmen, well, we're running across the map with the Fed and are gonna arrive to the party late. Starbuck's Forest Troll Berserker are going to get taken down, gift wrapped with that ensnare. Meanwhile, the Farseer now getting level 2 wolves, able to poke it back a little bit more. All right, once more, no expansion yet for Grubby. We're looking at a bunch of Headhunters trying to finish off some of those units. Again, there goes another unit once more. The Headhunter is able to do quite a bit of focus damage here. And when they're fighting each of those, that is a very big deal. Couple more gift wraps as well. Tauren Chieftain and Farseer getting that hero level advantage, 2 level 3 orc heroes. Meanwhile, the Mountain King, well, resurrected at the tavern and now back out on the battlefield as we see another, well, farm get taken down. Healing ward placed down here as the Farseer going to try and stop that healing ward. It looks exactly like that. Going to just disrupt that healing ward, prevent the healing for all of those Footmen, making those priests have to work just that much harder. Grubby still putting in pressure onto these farms, trying to perhaps get Starbuck to be upside down on supply and then not be able to train up any additional reinforcements, and just still putting pressure here. It looks like a lot of farms being built back at the expo, so won't be supply blocked for long. But the Raiders were pillaging down these barracks as well. Interesting thing to note so far, though, from Grubby, I don't think I've seen a single grunt yet. It's been mass Headhunters and Raiders, and now adding in a Kodo Beast. You can see Grubby's Expo, well, it's trying to get constructed here, and if he's able to continue to place down that pressure, he should be able to, well, get even in terms of the overall economic race. If he can hold on to this hero level advantage, he's going to be in great shape as a Kodo Beast now shows up onto the battlefield, giving that very powerful 10% damage bonus, essentially making all the Headhunters already 2-1 upgraded. And we are not, well, no additional upgrades behind this just quite yet. All right, Footman with the Fed and now walking over to see if an expansion is up. You can see Spirit Wolves going to try and scout out this expansion here. Pretty much a city of farms, well, a village of farms off over here with a lot of towers. Very difficult to put pressure in at the expo location. Now, Kodo Beasts not able to do very much. Grubby's Orc army pretty much sieging up against Starbuck's main base. The Spellbreakers and other units being trained off to the side would not have been able to make their way over. One Ensnare coupled with a Kodo Beast Devour, and well, that would have been stuck in the belly of the beast for quite some time. 63 supply compared to 50 right now. Starbuck has the supply advantage, but it doesn't really feel like it yet. Now that we're also waiting for the economy to get up and running for Grubby, that expo is gonna, well, start to translate into a larger army for Grubby as well. Archmage, all right, so Mountain King needs to get out there, perhaps get in some thunderclaps. He's trying to rush in there. There goes a shockwave, and now the Mountain King has dived into this particular spot. All right, Raider's going to get taken down. Spellbreakers able to finish things off there. A couple more units getting taken down as we see some low hit point Headhunters still in the back. Mountain King, well, Mountain King Stormbolting going to perhaps finish off another Raider here. Needs to get to level 2 for that Thunderclap, and perhaps to be able to slow down all of these Headhunters again. Meanwhile, Kodo Beast able to, well, chow down on some Sorceresses and some Spellbreakers here as the battle's still raging on. All right, are we going to call to arms more units? Farseer being forced to retreat here. Low hit point Sorceress down to 50 hit points, able to back away. We are still at tier 2, getting up a second barracks. I don't see a Spirit Lodge or Torn Totem, so no Disenchant or Purge. Farseer pretty much exclusively using healing salves in order to keep this army alive and well. Meanwhile, back at the expo here, we're looking at, well, more peons going to be making their way over full saturation, and we are going to be running 2 bases on 2 bases. Grubby, however, still in no upkeep. Mountain King making a couple of rounds here, going after this Enforcer creep camp, looking to get to level 2. You can see there's that Thunderclap already. And if we perhaps will see a retrain to Blizzard later, especially if those Headhunters stay as Headhunters and never upgrade to Berserkers. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 4. Farseer gonna get to level 4 right there, and with level 2 Endurance Aura, level 2 Shockwave, level 2 Chain Lightning, well, you can better believe that all of that's going to be bouncing around quite a bit. All right, Tauren Chieftain trying to throw down more damage. Perhaps we're going to see a shockwave onto that priest. No, priest Stormbolt onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain could be in a little bit of trouble. There's a roar there, needing to take down those healing wards again. So the healing ward's pretty much used effectively as another Headhunter gets a focus down Rifleman with, well, that roar upgrade and focus fire, able to deal quite a bit here. Meanwhile, the Mountain King forced to try and retreat back. Does have an invul potion. Is he going to use it? That is the question there, as the Mountain King still wandering around here. A couple of Headhunters going to get taken down, as the Tauren Chieftain perhaps could try and go for some more shockwaves again. Mountain King gets up to level 3. Now opts to go for level 2 Thunderclap. And is he going to be able to, well, do anything here? There's that Thunderclap taking down one of those Raiders and slowing down that Tauren Chieftain as well, using that invul potion as well. But as the Mountain King looks to go after that Kodo Beast here, Kodo Beast trying to chow down on a Footman, ends up losing his lunch there, as the Mountain King could be in trouble. Chain Lightning bouncing around. I believe there was a Scroll of Healing used again. Mountain King just trying to dodge all of this damage here. Dangerously low on hit points, as the human army of Starbuck, 67 supply compared to 46, able to pick off the units of Grubby one at a time, even though they have more hit points. All right, Grunts have now been introduced to the collection here. Raiders as well. We're looking at a couple of Headhunters, 2-1 upgrades, and a little bit of damage coming across here. Headhunters going to be coming across from the side, gift wrapping those Riflemen. They have no easy way to escape. Farseer does not have that much mana. Mountain King shows up to the party, not going to be able to get a Thunderclap, and needs to dive in a little bit more, and currently has the mana, but didn't go after all of those Headhunters as I expected. Mountain King perhaps getting a little bit lost in traffic, a little bit of a weaker Thunderclap there, as the Spellbreakers and Archmage trying to finish off some of these units. All right, Raider going to get taken down. Archmage still sitting at level 4, level 2 Brilliansaurus, giving mana to that Mountain King. Headhunter now trying to retreat back once again, as the Tauren Chieftain fighting, well, still fighting here. Spellbreakers continue to put in pressure. Tauren Chieftain finishing off a Spellbreaker, and now Starbuck being forced to retreat and regroup. Grubby is still behind by 14 supply, does have a slight hero level advantage, dual level 4s, and a nearing level 5 on that Tauren Chieftain compared to a level 4, level 3. There's level 5 on that Tauren Chieftain, level 3 Shockwave, going to be a very big deal. Also picks up a Clarity Potion and also a Potion of Mana. Farseer picks up Claws of Attack +5, And now we see Grubby finally moving into low upkeep. Low upkeep. Please boil water.
A player's forces are under attack.
All right, coming back through. Right, well, Archmage, Mountain King looking to clear up the Granite Golem Creep Camp off to the side. Hey, Burrow Rush, how you doing? Long time no see. Thanks for stopping by. Yep. Farseer still barely getting a little bit more experience. We'll get to dual level 5 heroes, and dual level 5 heroes, that level 3 ability just opens up so much. We'll see if the Farseer opts to go for Chain Lightning or Wolves. Chain Lightning, well, able to bounce around more damage. The Spirit Wolves, it will be Chain Lightning. The Wolves at this point could become a liability if the Spellbreakers do end up grabbing control magic. Archmage, Toma retraining into Blizzard, so we're going to be looking at Thunderclap, Blizzard. If that Mountain King can get into position, Thunderclap, and then follow up with that Blizzard damage. It is going to be coming down to just sheer positioning as Starbuck and Grubby's armies are actually starting to get closer and closer in size here. However, Grubby comes off with a very, very powerful creep jack here. But the Tauren Chieftain's Shockwave really did find a lot of that back line. We saw some healing scroll used again as the Archmage is trying to throw down Blizzard on this flanking group of Headhunters. Archmage gets up to level 5. Invul Potion right there. There's some more Blizzard raining down. Mountain King perhaps needed to get closer to all of those Headhunter backline as we see a Cloak of Shadows and Tome of Intelligence being left behind here. Headhunters are just diving themselves onto this backline, being able to focus fire when necessary. There's a nasty Thunderclap right there, but a beautiful Scroll of Healing used again to try and counteract. So both sides using Scrolls of Healing to counteract the others, other big plays. A lucky Shockwave. The Archmage was invisible. The Tauren Chieftain throws down a Shockwave, hits the level 5 Archmage, and that was a big loss right there. No additional Scrolls of Healing, but right now you can see that the Mountain King doesn't have the mana in order to throw down another big Thunderclap to really pick apart this army here. And now if the Headhunters, if they're going to continue to do their thing, be able to poke apart units one at a time, this is going to be a big deal. Militia trying to retreat back away. Grunts, Mountain King now going to fall at level 4 down to 137 hit points. No, able to retreat back here. The Militia are just trying to go after the Headhunter here as the Headhunter now tries to double back around. Mountain King still alive somehow. Tauren Chieftain, however, gets up to level 6. And now that we have a level 6 Tauren Chieftain, we know even if you knock him down, he's just going to get back up again. Archmage resurrected at the tavern. That is a little bit of a risky behavior there. Needs to get a little bit of healing, perhaps a clarity potion as well. Is Starbuck going to be able to re-team up the duo, the Mountain King Archmage, get level 3 Blizzard down on that back line, and also get some Thunderclaps there. All right, Staff of Teleportation inbound to get the Archmage and the Mountain King together, but there's just not enough Priest here to keep all of those units alive. There's that level 3 Blizzard raining down here. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? No, we do not. I thought perhaps we could have seen a Stormbolt. Well, nope, a Stormbolt onto the Raider, but the Raider did end up getting denied again.
Forces are under attack.
Mountain King sitting at level 4. Level 5 would have been big here. Peasants trying to go up against that Grunt. This Peasant going to get taken down. It gets taken down here. All right, Tauren Chieftain, double Invo Potions. Cloak of Shadows on the Farseer. Farseer also with an Invo Potion. Tauren Chieftain now has a Scroll of Healing, and I believe the Farseer may also pick up another Scroll of Healing as well, selling that Cloak of Shadows first. Nope, has a Staff of Teleportation instead. All right. Mountain King looking to finish off a couple of these No Wardens here. Archmage could be in trouble. Tauren Chieftain, gets getting into position here. Archmage going to turn around and use that Blizzard. There's a Scroll of Healing once more. Mountain King, is he going to Thunderclap? He needs a Thunderclap. He's surrounded by units. He's going to end up getting taken down. There is a Dust of Appearance on that Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain breaks invisibility, but gonna be in trouble still. All right, more Blizzard raining down. So many low hit point casters here. The Headhunters have been able to poke down the Farseers, or all of those casters with their unarmored armor type. Farseer, Chain Lightning going to go ahead and bounce around here, finding additional targets. Tauren Chieftain, even if he gets knocked back down, he's going to get back up again. be able to shockwave. And there's the win by Grubby over Starbuck. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Here are the final scores.